You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to giving you the inside scoop on what's happening on the lakes and waterways of our region, with a primary focus on Sam Rayburn and Toledo Bend. Your host, V&M Baits General Manager Kevin Jean and Camus Boats Pro Staffer Steve Graff. Two guys with years of tournament experience with Pro-Am circuits like ABA, BFLs, Toyota Series, and BASS Opens. Anglers willing to share their knowledge and to give you inside information to make you a better angler. So get ready to take some notes and learn exactly how anglers are catching the big stringers right here on Tackle Talk Live. Here are your hosts, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
Welcome to Tackle Talk Live on this awesome February 14th of 2023, Valentine's Day. I hope you guys have taken care of your sweet thing on your end, because I'm Camus Boats Pro Staffer Steve Graff, but Kevin Jean, V&M General Manager, I think he's out doing what he's supposed to be doing, which is trying to take care of his sweetheart, because he's not here with me today, but that's okay. Kevin's tending to some serious business with work related, so Kevin won't be joining us today, but that's okay. We have a special guest today. It's been a long time, folks, since a new record bass has come in on Toledo Bend. But today we're going to talk to the man. Bill Cook is the guy that just caught the new state record, or not state, excuse me, Toledo Bend Lake record over there at Toledo Bend during the Bass Champs event this past weekend. And we're going to have Bill on, talk about how he did it, how deep was the fish, try to get as much detail as we can out of Bill. And we'll see what he's got to say about that. We don't know if it's early, late. We'll find out all the good stuff and see exactly how Bill got that fish in the net. So also we're going to talk about Bass Champs, Toledo Bend event. We'll give you the full results of that, who won that, how that came out. And I'm going to tell you right now, they caught them. I mean, they smashed them over there at Toledo Bend. It's just a great showing of Toledo Bend and what its potential is probably going to be this spring. So they really caught them, and we'll go over some details of that. And we'll also cover our area pros that are participating in the Tackle Warehouse, the Major League Fishing Tackle Warehouse Pro Tour. We've got some local guys that did really well in Florida at Lake Okeechobee. We'll give the results of that as well. But real quick, we're going to take a short break. When we return, we're going to have Mr. Bill Cook on the line and talk about his record catch on Toledo Bend. You're watching Tackle Talk Live.
Toledo Health is a full-service primary and acute care clinic. Nurse practitioners Jarrett Rule and Melissa Vines bring quality health care that's needed and convenient to the area. Whether it's a stomach virus or a hook in your hand, Toledo Healthcare will try and meet all your healthcare needs. Appointments available and walk-ins are always welcome. So the next time you're feeling down at Toledo Bend, stop by Toledo Healthcare, located on Highway 6, just south of Toledo Town, or you can call 318-508-5323. For all your boating needs, check out Shreveport's newest marine dealer, The Boat Shop. Raymond Kidd and his great staff will take care of all your engine repair needs or anything else that needs fixing. A certified Yamaha Mercury dealer, they carry two of the best fishing boats on the market from Sea Arc and Camus. The Boat Shop is never short on trade-ins, as they're always willing and able to make you the best deal possible. Looking for great boat accessories? They're a full support garment and Minn Kota dealer. So the next time you're in the market for a new or used boat, or maybe you just need to service the boat you have, let the Boat Shop fix you up. To learn more, call 318-402-0399 or go to ShreveportBoatShop.com. The next time you're on I-49 just south of Natchitoches, Louisiana, stop by Cypress Knee Outdoors. A store within a store, Cypress Knee is located inside 3J's four-way. Whether you need gas, food, or drinks, they have it. While you're there, check out Cypress Knee Outdoors and pick up whatever hunting or fishing tackle you need. Top name brands like Strike King, Santones, Pro, or the #1 soft plastics made, V&M. On the hunting side, they carry guns from Mossberg, Winchester, and Remington. Plus, they've got a great supply of ammunition. Let John Abram and his staff show you everything Cypress Knee has to offer. Located just 1 mile east of 127 on I-49, or call 318-238-HUNT. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
Welcome back to Tackle Talk Live, and we want to give this segment's sponsorship recognition to Toledo Health, the boat shop, 3J's Four-Way, home of Cypress and E Outdoors. Thank you guys. Appreciate all your support of Tackle Talk Live. If you're headed up I-49, hey, make sure you pull into Cypress and E. It's right there off the interstate, coming up northbound on I-49, headed towards Natchitoches. And so stopping there, they got a great selection of V&M, Strike King, every top name brand bait and tackle you could ever want or need. So give John Abraham a shout when you walk in there and tell him you heard about it on Tackle Talk Live. All right, on the phone, we've got the man, I guess now he would be literally the man, the myth, the legend, Bill Cook, who is the guy that just caught a new Toledo Bend record, a 15.67 pound largemouth. Bill, man, I'm sure we're the first phone call you ever got today, right?
Well, I've had a few phone calls and a few texts.
I'm sure you probably had to put your phone on silent for a while because I know we were blowing it up. And excuse me, we just couldn't believe. I mean, Bill, I guess I've been expecting this for a while. I just didn't know it was going to be this year, but we knew Toledo Bend had some big fish in it. And is this your first fish over 10 that you've caught on Toledo?
On Toledo, yeah, that's the first one over 10 on Toledo.
So what's the biggest fish you've caught off Toledo Bend before this 1567?
I think it was like an 875.
855. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Dadgum, that's a good one. You and your partner, Ken Burgess, y'all finished third overall in this event. You had 2587 total. And tell us a little bit about, well, I guess let's just go straight to this big fish. What was it caught early? Was it caught late? I mean, in between, middle of the day? Give us an idea of when this record catch occurred.
Well, what happened was that we got out there before it was a trailering tournament, and you couldn't start fishing till 7 o'clock. So you could get to your place a little bit earlier than that, which we did. And so when I got there, deployed my troll motor, started looking around on live scope and saw a few fish moving around. I told my partner, I said, I see some pretty good fish moving around here. I don't know what they are. And so when it got to be 7 o'clock, made a couple of casts, and then about 7:10, I saw what I thought was a fish on the bottom, and made a cast with an Alabama rig, about 18 foot of water, and watched the rig go down and pulled it over what I thought was a fish, and all of a sudden the fish comes up off the bottom and eats it. And it was a pretty neat deal because you see it, and then you get the feel on the rod just a second later, and
so
I was totally shocked.
So it was just like a video game, more or less. That's what it sounds like.
Well, for an old guy like me, I haven't had a live scope very long. I'm way behind the game on that. But it's a pretty cool deal when you see it happen and then the results of what the strike was.
And Bill is a guy that's got live scope. We see fish on our live scope and forward-facing sonar, and especially when you see a big fish, you're like, well, that can't be a bass. That's too big to be a bass. Was that going through your mind? Was it a big catfish maybe, or a big gar? Or you probably didn't even realize it was a bass, did you?
Well, really, I had a pretty good idea that it might be a bass because the weekend before at the BFL, I had a co-angler, and we're in this spot, and he was throwing an Alabama rig, and he caught an 11-pounder, and I said, wow. And then he caught a 5-pounder, and he said to me, he said, Mr. Bill, he said, do you have an Alabama rig? And I said, absolutely I do. It's on my favorite rod, tied on, leaning up against the wall in my garage.
Oh, man.
So to make a long story short, he weighed in 17 pounds and was second place in the BFL. I had one 2.5-pounder, and I said, stupid me once, not stupid me twice.
Yeah.
So I got myself rigged up and watched a few videos on the Alabama rig, which I absolutely despise, but got all tuned up, and we went back out there to this similar spot, and had that results, which is pretty amazing.
Now, Bill, with the A-rig, certain organizations, and I fished the BFLs as well. I think we're only allowed 3 hooks on a BFL A-rig. Is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah. And so when you rigged your A-rig up, what swim baits were you using? Were they Strike King? What brand swim bait were you using?
Well, actually, one of my old friends and bait sponsors is Stanley Hale Lures, and they have a little swim minnow designed for Alabama rigs. It's called a dual threat, and I had a silver one with it's white with a silver belly, and I used those, and I really don't think it makes that much difference. I think it's more of getting it in front of one.
No, I think you're right. I agree with you.
But I used the same one I used. I had rigged for the BFL that I didn't use, and it just had 3 hooks on it.
Yeah.
And I didn't go to the full 5 hooks. It's bad enough to keep them from getting hang with just 3 hooks.
Oh, amen to that. And when you lose one of them, boy, it's you can feel it at the cash register when you lose an A-rig.
That's exactly right.
Hey, another thing, was this fish out over grass? Was he on a hard bottom? Was there timber, stumps? I mean, how?
I was sitting at probably, maybe 20, 25 foot, and I had the bottom. It was pretty clean. It had a few, I would say they weren't big laydowns, but it had a few limbs and a few small little trees. But it was kind of a ledge situation where, you pulled off a 10-foot into the deep water, and that's why I saw them going down that ledge.
Yeah. So your limit, y'all caught, let's see here, 2587. Of course, 15 pounds of it was just one big fish. Did the rest of your fish come on an A-rig, or were you deep cranking? What were y'all doing to catch the rest of your limit?
Well, after we had the big fish, we fished for another hour or 2 without a bite. I think I had one small Kentucky on that Alabama rig, and I told Ken, my partner, I said, we need to go shallower and try to fill out a limit where we can get a check. And so we did. And what we did, we found some grass and went over the grass with movement baits, like caught a couple on a hybrid hunter, caught a couple on a Fritchside 5, both of them in red color. Ken caught a couple on a swim bait over the grass, and we've caught maybe 4 or 5 times, but we didn't have a place like some of these guys are catching these 30, 40-pound sacks. We didn't have a replenished place on a ledge or a drop like that. We just didn't have that kind of fish. Except for that one big fish place.
Right. So again, this was a spot that you had basically found in the BFL. It sounds like a spot you fished quite a bit over your career, and you just kind of went back to it. And for the co-angler to catch an 11-pounder the week before, that probably kind of clued you in a little bit there. Hey, there's some better fish here. I just gotta get something in front of them that they'll bite.
That's exactly right. Yeah, when I told my wife, I said I'm gonna go get a check this week, and she started laughing. And so after I caught that fish went the weigh in, I took a picture of it. And I sent it to her, and I said, guess what? This is your Valentine's present.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, that's a heck of a gift, I'll promise you. And again, Bill, you've been fishing. You've been doing this a long time. We fished against each other. I mean, we haven't been paired up in a boat together before, but I fished the BFLs, Toyotas. We've all done that together. And I'm telling you, you've got a great reputation as an angler, first of all. So this could not come to a better guy. Bill Cook is as good as it gets and as good as it come when it comes to an angler in your boat. He's just not only a great angler, just a good person to be in the boat with. So, Bill, we are so happy for you, man. I'm telling you, you'll never forget this as long as you live. And who knows, this record may stand for a long time. A 15.
Yeah, that's the thing. It came at a great time for me, getting to be a senior citizen, and on my home lake, I fished Toledo for over 50 years. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
And really had some great trips and some bad trips like all of us do, but it was really gratifying. And whether the record lasts 1 day, 2 weeks, 2 years, 10 years, it doesn't make any difference. I was there for the moment, and I really appreciate all my friends and fellow bassers that, like yourself, that have given me compliments. It really means a lot.
Well, I got one question for you, Bill, before I let you go.
Sure.
Were you signed up with Bass Cash Bash?
Was I signed up for the Cash Bass? No.
Bass Cash Bash, yeah, the open tournament on Toledo Bend where you sign up, and when you catch a fish over 10 and you're a part of that group, you automatically qualify. Matter of fact, you would be probably leading big fish of the year, and would probably win it with a 1567. So, but yeah, it's a separate little tournament, goes on all the time from starts to, as I say, I'm sorry, Toledo Bend doesn't start till March the 1st. I'm wrong. Sam Rayburn has already started, but Toledo Bend has not kicked in yet. So if you haven't signed up for Bass Cash Bash, go check it out, folks. Go to basscashbash.com. It's the longest running bass tournament in America, lasts for several months. And if you catch a tagged fish, you automatically win. It's just a great way to, if you're going to be on Toledo Bend or Sam Rayburn, you got to sign up because there's a lot of fish out there with tags. Or if you catch one over 10, a lunker, share a lunker program fish, you automatically win a lot of prizes and stuff as well. So, but anyway, well, Bill, man, we appreciate you. Again, congratulations. And again, I couldn't be happier for you. And looking forward to visiting with you a little bit more later on and about this awesome catch. And sounds like you caught him early. I guess you had to babysit it the rest of the day, too. That probably made you a little nervous.
Well, not really, because I've got good live wells, but the thing about it, that fish just barely fit in the live well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was in good shape, and we got her measured up, and I think they returned to the lake, and it was a great day for me, and I really appreciate you guys talking to me about it. If you need any information, just feel free to give me a call. Thank
you, Bill. We appreciate you, bud, and congratulations.
Okay.
Thank you. That's Bill Cook. We appreciate Bill coming on today and visiting with us and talking about how he caught that big fish. What a great story. I never would have thought of A-rig. I would have thought it'd been something on the bottom, bouncing on the bottom like a big worm or a jig or deep diving crankbait. And that's a big fish to me for an A-rig. And but it just goes to show you got to put it in front of one. If you put it in front of one, a lot of times they'll bite it. So, and but anyway, when we return, we're going to go over the final results of the Bass Champs, along with the results from Tackle Warehouse stop number 1 on Lake Okeechobee, and let you know how our local pros did. And also we'll talk about upcoming events for the rest of the month of February. You're watching Tackle Talk Live. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for the finest custom-built rods ever made? Then look no further than Pride Rods. Fishing rods built to last and made in Montgomery, Texas. Constructed by Mr. Billy Kistler with the finest Gary Loomis North Fork composite blanks available. They offer a complete line of both spinning and casting rods for both fresh and salt water. Pride Rods do more than pass the eye test. They excel in performance as well. Ask your local tackle dealer if they carry Pride Rods and pick one up and try it for yourself. You'll see why so many anglers are using Pride Rods. To learn more, go to priderods.com or call 832-418-6040. The next time you're headed for Toledo Bend or Sam Rayburn, stop by Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle. They have an awesome supply of everything you'll need to catch the big ones. Whether your trip calls for bass fishing, white perch tackle, catfish bait, or the ultimate fighting shiners, Keith's Tackle has you covered. Keith and former Elite Series pro Ben Matsubu also have the latest information on what, how, and where you need to be fishing on Sam Rayburn or the Bend. So for all your tackle needs, check out Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle, located just off Highway 21 on the Texas side of Toledo Bend, or call 409-625-0181. The Lakes Insurance Agency is an independent insurance agency that has been taking care of Texans' insurance needs for over 25 years, offering auto, homeowners, boat, RV, life, health, and commercial insurance. Owner Clark Moore is a local guide and tournament angler who understands your insurance needs and wants to be your go-to guy for all your insurance needs. For a free quote, give him a call and see why so many Texans trust the Lake Insurance Agency. Located at 805 Southeast Stalling Suite 3, Nacogdoches, Texas, or call 936-205-4467. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
Welcome back to Tackle Talk Live. I'm Cayman Sports Pro staffer Steve Graff. Kevin Jean is out today. He is out on assignment doing a work duty call today, so Kevin wasn't able to be with us today. And so, again, we want to thank Bill Cook in that last segment for coming on with us and giving us the details on that record-setting bass he caught at Toledo Bend. And 15.67 pounds. I can't imagine what that would look like in a net getting into your boat, or more or less trying to put it in a live well. That's just crazy. But anyway, couldn't happen to a better guy. This segment is presented by Pride Rods, Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle, and the Lakes Insurance of Nacogdoches, Texas. 2 locations, one in Nacogdoches and one on the shores of Lake Sam Rayburn, right there in Broadus, Texas. Stop by, check it out, and they'll be glad to help you with any of your insurance needs, boat, truck, home, whatever you got, they'll take care of you. Bass Champs results from last weekend at Toledo Bend, first place. And folks, they caught them. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you right now, they smoked them over there. Michael Mitchell and Nathan Mitchell had 5 bass with an 11.58 pound kicker. They had 28.95 to win first place, $20,500 with the Garmin bonus. Second place was Doug Posey and Dakota Posey of Orange, Texas. These guys had 5 fish away, 28.83. Bill Cook, who we just had on, and Ken Burgess, both of Houston, Texas. And I believe Bill is originally from Vivian up there north of Shreveport. They finished third in this event. They had 5 fish for 25.87 with a 15.67 kicker, new lake record. Fourth place, Rusty Clark and Corey Rambo, Sam Rayburn and Orange, Texas, respectively. They had a 10.12 pound kicker. They had 25.52. Brad Hand and Lane Smith from Shreveport, they finished 5th with 24.77. Great team right here. These guys have won a lot of money on Toledo Bend, Sam Rayburn. George Jean Jr. And Tater Reynolds finished 6th in this event. George from Evans, Louisiana, Tater from Florine. They had 5 fish for 24.47. John Ratman and Keith Jensick from Natchitoches, Louisiana. They had 5 fish, finished 6th for 24.47. Actually, it was a tie for 6th between them and Tater and George Jean Jr. Finishing 8th, Cole Moore from Manny, Louisiana, and Richard Moore from Anacoca. They had 24.36. Travis Petrie and Howard Beats Jr., they had 5 fish for 23.22. Finishing 10th, rounding out the top 10, James Davis Jr., a really good angler. Love old James, great guy. Faraday, Louisiana, and Ben McCormick, they had 5 fish that weighed 22.68, rounding out the top 10. 10th place in this event paid $1,010. Going down, the last place check was 23rd, Alan Shivers and Randall Cuthran. They had 5 fish for 19.04. They're from Jasper and Shelbyville, Texas. And again, they finished 23rd. But one of the things that got my attention in this tournament that really just absolutely amazed me, 21 stringers over 20 pounds come to the scale Saturday in this Bass Champs event. That speaks volumes, and a good job by Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries and the Texas Department of Wildlife and Fisheries for managing that fishery and doing an absolutely awesome job. That's proof that things are going in the right direction at Toledo Bend. And again, folks, this is February. There's better days to come. There's no telling what's going to come in this year. I hope no one breaks the 1567 anytime soon, because I'd like to see Bill Cook hold on to that record for quite a while. But it is possible somebody else could break that record this spring. And so we've gotten plenty of rain. All you guys that like to flip the bushes, get ready. You can probably go up there north of 1215 or get in the bushes from 1215 Blue Lake on up, and you'll probably find some fish up in the bushes. The water's been warming up. The fish are starting to pull up. They're starting to come up and roam, looking for places to spawn. So the next month could really be good if we don't have any major cold fronts come through. Now, I know we've got a little cold spell coming through, I think middle of the week, next week. Temperatures will drop down at night to 29 to 30 degrees. But overall, every day, they're rising up into the 60s and 70s most of the week. So that water should continue to warm up a little bit. Real quick, let's see here. Upcoming events, but one thing I want to give you, if I can find it here. Lake level, Toledo Bend as we speak. 172 is, of course, is pool level. 171.73 is the current lake level right now. That's a difference of 3.24 inches. So the lake is just, like I said, it's almost full pool. 10-day gain has come up 11.04 inches over the last 10 days. 24-hour gain has come up 0.12 inches. So real quick, let me run up to, let's run over to Sam Rayburn, because I know a lot of you guys have stuff coming up over there. Sam Rayburn lake level. Pool is 164.4. It's 164.2, a difference of 2.4 inches low. So it's basically full. Sam Rayburn is back up to full capacity. 10-day game of 1.68 feet. 24 hours, it's come up 0.72 inches. And again, that should continue to rise as this front's coming through East Texas today as we speak. Here on February 14th, you should start seeing the lakes with the rain that's coming. Not a lot of rain, but it should maintain the levels where they're at. Now, Toledo Bend, they're probably still pulling, so Toledo may start to fall a little quicker than what we'd like to see maybe, but anyway, that's kind of what's going on. Real quick, let's see, the Tackle Warehouse. The first event for the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit was on Lake Okeechobee. And folks, if you've never been to Lake Okeechobee and you ever get a chance to go, make sure you go. Hire you a good guide when you go over there. Go wet a hook. It is an extraordinary place to go fishing. It's just insane. It's different than probably any other place you'll go in America. And so it's just a really great fishery. Let's see here. Tackle Warehouse stop number 1 in Okeechobee. Our local guys, Joshua Weaver won the tournament with a 3-day total of, I believe, let's see here. Let me pull this out here real quick, where I can give you the total. Yes, Joshua Weaver won this event with $72.09 for a $117,500 payday. Finishing second, basically 9 pounds behind, was Colby Shumpf with 63.12. Brett Height, a very popular name, he finished third with 63.01. Michael Neal, one of the best pros on the circuit today, finished fourth with 61.13. And round of top 5 was Jacopo Galili. He finished fifth with 61.13. Looking at our local guys, here's how they did. Nick LeBrun, our Bossier boy. Nick finished 26th overall. And Nick collected a $10,000 payday. Dakota Ebear was 28th. Dakota's a Louisiana guy, but he lives over Sam Rayburn, I believe, at Brooklyn, Texas now. But he's really a Louisiana boy. He finished 28th. Tyler Stewart from Monroe used to fish for ULM. He finished 29th. Cameron Madison, an airline young man, been on the tour now for 3 or 4 years, finished 31st. And our Toledo Bend guide and former Northwestern State Demon fishing team stick, he finished, Justin Cooper finished 40th in this event. So congratulations to all those guys making the top 50 at that event. And they all made checks. I think probably from 31st to 40th was probably $8,000, and from 26th, Nick and Dakota and Tyler probably earned about $10,000 apiece. So again, congratulations to those guys. Upcoming events this coming weekend. We're switching over to Sam Rayburn, guys, and that's where the Texas Team Trail. It's the first tournament of the year, February 18th on Sam Rayburn out of Humphrey Pavilion. This This circuit is probably the gold standard. Them and Bass Champs set the bar when it comes to team bass tournament trails. We'll see what kind of turnout they have, but look for them to smash them at Sam Rayburn this weekend. Also, if you haven't signed up, I talked to ABA Tournament Director Chris Wayan. Numbers are on the rise for the Solo 150. A lot of guys are wanting to hear that. Because the more we get in that, the more money we're fishing for. It's such a great circuit. I mean, it's a 2-day event, $600 entry fee. You fish by yourself. No co-anglers are in this circuit. So you get to go out on your own, find your own fish. You don't have to worry about revealing your fish to somebody else. And you're fishing from anywhere from $12,000 to $20,000, depending on how many get in the tournament. And it's just a great event, well run by ABA and Chris Wayan. They just do an outstanding job, just as well as they do on the Open Series for ABA Open Series events. 2 divisions in East Texas, an East Texas division and the South Texas division. If you're looking for something else to fish, check out the Open Series with ABA as well. But if you're looking to sign up for the Southwest division of the Solo 150, there's 3 tournaments: Sam Rayburn, Lake of the Pines, and Toledo Bend. 3 bodies of water right here in our neck of the woods, guys. Absolutely no excuses for us not to bust 100 boats in this event in any one of those 3. Great fisheries, great circuit, good payback, and probably the best payback of any circuit out there. So check it out. ABA Solo 150. You can go to aba.com and sign up online. So, and all those tournaments for ABAs, they're all out of Castle Boykin. None of them are out of the south end of the lake. They're all on the north end. Let's see here. BFL schedule. The next BFL will be March 25th on Toledo Bend out of San Miguel. That's the next BFL event. Sam Rayburn Open Series for South Texas Division, run by Chris Wayan. Next event is Sam Rayburn March the 11th. And the East Texas is March the 4th on Cedar Creek, which is coming up in a couple of weeks. So get ready for that. Brandon Belt Tournament, March 4th and 5th on Lake Ray Roberts. $1,200 entry fee for that Brandon Belt circuit. And once again, Texas Team Trail this weekend on Sam Rayburn. So, hey, that's going to wrap us up for today. That's all the news I've got. Hopefully Kevin will be back with us next week. And I want to thank you for tuning us in. Please check us out on our YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, or podcast. If you'd like to become a member of our sponsorship team, all you got to do is message us on our Facebook page, send us a message. Kevin will get a packet out to you immediately. And if you know anybody out there looking that could use some exposure, we cover Toledo Bend. Sam Rayburn is the heart of our broadcast. It's the heart of what we cover here at Tackle Talk Live. Great exposure. We're averaging close to 3,000 to 4,000 views a week. Great exposure for you and your company or whatever business you're running. We'd love to have you be a part of our sponsorship team. So for Kevin Jean, yours truly, Steve Graff, thank you for tuning us in. You've been watching Tackle Talk Live. We'll see you next week. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.